As you can tell, I am pretty sick today. I'm going to try to get this going anyway. Oh, sorry, my brain is just like not going very fast today. All right. But I'm here anyway because I've put out a new release today, which is my first new release of the year. I guess I re-released Flying Sparks and The Stars Entwined and things like that. But this is my first new release, which is Clockwork Dancer #1. It's a comic book that I've been hyping for a while because I've been lettering it, which you've probably seen on the stream, and getting it ready. Put it out to Patreon supporters a couple weeks ago, and now got it all ready. I just finally hit the approve button because I got the proof back from Ingram Spark on the print edition, so that should be up within the next 24 to 48 hours. Also, it's super exciting. So, I mean, as you guys know, I'm big into steampunk. Steampunk's really my thing, and I have wanted to do a steampunk comic book for a while. My first thought was to adapt For Steam and Country, my best-selling novel, into a steampunk book. And I really wanted the right artist for that, and I just haven't found somebody who's willing to commit, who is somebody I have a vision for what it's going to look like on that front. So I'm still waiting on that. And then my second thought was, maybe I could take the Knights of the Crystal Spire from that book, do original stories and things like that, and that would be fun too, which I'm still intending on doing in the future. But then this story hit me. What happened here? And hey, everybody, hit the like button, subscribe button, leave comments and stuff. Get this going so we can get the virality. Is that a word? Going on this, so that some folk can check this out and see what's going on with the comic. I would appreciate that. Cool. So, hey, P. Alexander, how you doing, brother? So this is out today, and I want to be more energetic about this because I'm freaking excited about this. I love this comic book. I think it's some of my best writing, if not my best writing, period. Hey, JD. Hey, Timothy. Welcome. And it's super fun. So the story behind this, the floppies, the actual paperback version, if you missed what I said a couple minutes ago, I hit approve on Ingram Spark after reviewing the proof this morning. They finally got it to me. So it should be out in the next 24 to 48 hours, which is great. At first I thought about not blogging and not announcing and not streaming about this, but it just means I get to do 2 streams about it because it's 2 new releases. So it's fun. So I'll be doing that. This came about, which is interesting. I was on a website called Gab. Do you guys remember Gab? Are any of you still on Gab? Gab is a very interesting website. About 2 years ago, it started and was billed as an alternative to Twitter. And this is because what was happening at the time was Twitter was banning freaking everybody. All my favorite Twitter accounts just got banned. We lost Milo Yiannopoulos. We lost Pizza Party Ben. We lost, remember the Swag blog? Does anybody remember the Swag blog? Oh man, those were great accounts. And Ricky Vaughn, a Trump guy. Tons of Trump guys just got banned. Tons of Christian accounts got banned. Just funny accounts that were making really good content. And so Gab's like, you know what? This is obviously politically motivated, and we're going to start our own thing so that people can't mess with things. And so they started Gab. I was on there from day one, and I was up to I was close to 10,000 followers on Gab. It was double my Twitter following. And then there were some issues with it because they were such free speech absolutist for a while. With their whole hey Bradford, how you doing? With their whole we're going to allow anybody to say anything as long as it's not a federal crime or whatever. That they caused problems basically. They allowed libel and things like that on there. One of my friends got libeled as a pedophile or whatnot, and they refused to take it down. He's a public figure, so there's a real problem with that. And so lawsuits ensued. It was really ugly for a while, and a lot of people just quit the platform because you can become such a free speech cesspool that it becomes a cesspool, I guess. That's what happened. But there were good parts about Gab too, and I met a lot of people on there. I met Katrina on Gab, who you might remember has streamed with me a bunch. She's not streaming so much these days. So I mean, she's having kids and things like that. But we talk pretty regularly. She's a good friend, and you know, one of my better friends. So I'm happy that I was able to meet her at the very least. And then I also met this gal, Mary MacArthur, who you can see on the webpage here, is the artist who did Clockwork Dancer. And we started talking about this in early 2018. This is she had a full-time job, which she's now quit. She's trying like for like the trad wife sort of set up in her life now. And she's at home doing her thing. And she was coming on board for the book. So we started talking about this in early 2018. Let me see if I can grab some of the designs that she did. And back then, she really just, she originally came at me. Here's like the first, I'll just start putting these up on the screen. How do I do this? How do you just like change between different things? Dang it. Okay. Edwin's calling me on the other line here. Hold on. Hey, Edwin. I'm streaming at the moment. Can I call you after I finish? Okay. You're on the stream here. Well, you're not on the stream, but people are listening to me talk to you on the stream. So aloha, Edwin says. All right. So I'll talk to him after the stream. But yeah, cheers. Okay. Super professional. This is why my YouTube's so successful, because I try so hard at like being a professional YouTuber here. But she originally sent me this, and this was like a steampunky device and a little spider automaton, which they use in the book. And this was her first drawing of Clockwork Dancer that came to me. I guess it was at the end of 2017, at the beginning of 2018. And this is what we're doing. And then she started drawing people. I'm just going to show all these drawings. These are fun. This is a sketch of her original sketch for the character, Alistair. I think, as I recall, she ended up, no, this was a George. George is a inspector for Queen Victoria's Secret Service. And one of the sort of like, I guess he's a foil rather than an antagonist in the book. And these just started coming in periodically. And she actually drew the first page as fun right back at that time. And this is the first page, how it looked in her original pencil sketch. Can I compare screen shares? I don't think I can. It'd be fun if I could. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to do these things. And then I'll pull up the real version of that so you can see the difference between how it ended up once it was finished in color and all that. And this is what the page looks like when it's finished. So as you can see, I mean, she did a really good job refining the art and just making things really awesome. And we've kept in touch since this point in 2017, slowly turned in pages and slowly got them done as she could in her spare time. And that's the cool part. I mean, she's not an artist who's doing this like full time. And she managed to get the book done. And right now, she's in the middle of laying out, oh man, I'm so freaking sick, issue number 2. And it's still going. So we're hoping to get issue number 2 done a little faster than issue number 1. There's less character designs and things like that to do now. And it's great. So yeah, we started on Gab. And then as P. Alexander notes in the chat, a lot of Facebook boomer MAGA memes and glow in the dark posting racist bait. Yeah, I figured there was like, there seemed to be a lot of like FBI trap sort of setups in there and things like that. It was very not fun after a while. And so I kind of gave up on it and I just stopped going to the site. And I actually checked it out again recently because they took a stand against porn on Twitter. who said they're going to not allow porn on their site. So they're changing. Free speech absolutists always realize that free speech 100% doesn't work at the end of the day. And so they finally have like started to push back on some of those things, and they've lost some people from that, but it's become a little better because of that. So I lost all my followers when I signed in. I found out that all my followers were gone. I was pretty pissed because I'm like, I worked really hard from day one. I had an original account and I had like 10,000 followers. I have like 25 now. Now I don't post all that often. I mean, I just kind of like go on there right now and just post my blog updates and things like that. But did I even post Clockwork Dancer? I guess not. I guess I'll do that right now. Whoops. Bad at promoting. Here we go. Clockwork Dancer #1 out on Kindle now. Gab. Bam. If you remember, like the original, the Gab Fam, Free Speech, or Speak Freely, and MAGA were like the three things that trended over and over again. You couldn't get anything else trending. It was pretty funny. So yeah, I've got this on there. I'm Otomo, Otomo, which is the guy who made Akira, is his name. And that's, I should change my profile picture. Oh well. And that's what's going on Gab right now. But yeah, I found Mary MacArthur there. She's just been a wonderful stalwart woman. She is just like a very loyal woman, super good Christian, and trad woman, stays at home, a wonderful family woman, and a great artist as well. And just been slowly chipping away at this. Now, this is supposed to be a 4-issue series. It's got 4 parts to it. I've already laid it out already. I've outlined through issue 4 so that we know exactly where it's going. And I have scripted through issue 2. So issue 2 is done with the script. It's almost done with layouts. And we'll just keep it going from here. As they come out, we're just going to release them on Amazon as they come out. And then you can enjoy this awesome steampunk story. So yeah, I don't want to pat myself. I do want to pat myself on the back too hard. I'm not gonna lie. All right, but I really outdid myself on the writing on this one. It's so good. I always like read novels and stuff like that, and I do get a little bit of a like, wow, I can't, So when I like authors and things like that set up mysteries and set up long-term plots and set up these like chases of historical items and things like that that end up mattering and have a twist on the book. I always see that and I'm like, wow, I could never plan something that well, but I did. I totally did it in this one. So so I'm very happy. This has like basis in reality. I did a lot of research into, like I said, Queen Victoria's Secret Service, which is like the precursor to MI6 in Victorian England. It is a, they sent their agents around just like they do MI6 today, and to deal with threats to the British Empire. And in my version, of course, creating lifelike automatons is going to be that major threat, which the Anglican Church sees as an abomination before God, because God creates man in his image, and creating something in the image of God is therefore extreme hubris on the part of man, and they view it as the work of the devil. So, of course, our Clockwork Dancer is not the work of the devil, and I explain why over the course of the book. But I'll leave the reason why and how it all works and how for you to read, because it's I don't know, I love what I did there. I think it's so fun and cool. So, book is out now. Link is in the description. The Kindle version is out. The paperback version should be next 28 to 48 hours if you want it in paperback. And that's what I've got today for Clockwork Dancer. But I also want to go over some biblical stuff. So which doesn't have to do with the book, but I was just in a live stream a few minutes ago, and it was Mike Miller's live stream. And he started saying some things intentionally to get under my skin, which is what Mike tends to do. He unfortunately, and one of the things was that as Christians, he says, we are not supposed to forgive people until they repent to us. And this is a very anti-biblical concept. It is not Christian whatsoever. This is way, way, way off the path. And I feel like it needs to be addressed because I feel like a lot of people take this. This is a prideful statement, a statement that we're not supposed to forgive people unless they first come to us in repentance is just totally something off base and ugly. You know, I know what's going on in Mike's life right now. And I know that Mike's having struggles. And so I'm not here to judge Mike or call Mike a bad person or anything like that. But I do want to reinforce the biblical concept that's important here because that's what needs to be done. So Mike's in the same spot I was like a year ago. And he's hurting. And he's in a spot where he's lost a lot of his friends. He desperately wants them back. He's hoping that they'll see the light because, you know, he's just like, I didn't do anything. He's right. He's 100% right that he didn't do anything. And these guys just threw him under the bus. And what happens when that happens is you start to lash out. And when you start to lash out, that's when the Twitter fights happen and it just escalates. And I did this too. I got in this rut for like 6 months to a year where I was just angry at the people who I thought were my friends and who just couldn't seem to see what was happening and what was going on with people attacking me. And it made me very bitter. And of course, I said some things that were over the line. And I've tried to apologize to anybody I was over the line with. One of those people was actually Edwin, who was on the phone. I did some things that were over the line to him. But Edwin was like a much closer friend of mine. And so it really, really stung. And that's why I was lashing out. So I know exactly what's going on with Mike, and that's what's going on now. And unfortunately, you know, he got in this whole deal with the war campaign where they were talking smack about me pretty hard, and it just reinforced in his mind that like I'm a bad person because they kept saying I was a bad person. He was having jokes at my expense about a year ago for that. But that's all water under the bridge, right? So I know where he's at. I understand how much that hurt is. And I know the fear, because, you know, in this comic movement, it's so tribal that people buy these books just based on whether you're part of the team or not, whether you're part of the political team, whether you're viewed as a friend, or not. And so he's afraid that he's going to lose half of his business. And because, you know, he's relying on these books, this is his entire career. He's got nothing else other than these crowd funds that are coming out in order to support his life. And so he's got a lot of fear involved also. What he needs is, he doesn't need people bashing him or anything like that. So please don't. What he needs is encouragement and the love of Christ. And that's what's going to prevail here. But the concept that we are supposed to wait for somebody to apologize to us before we forgive them is not biblical at all. And I'm going to go over a few verses where Christ actually unpacks this himself. And of course, he starts with the Lord's Prayer, which is forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. Forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. So those who have accumulated something against us, we forgave them in advance. We have forgiven. It's a past tense thing. We're supposed to do this in advance, is what Christ says. And this is Matthew 6:12 for anybody who wants the reference. And he goes on, he actually elaborates on this point when he's talking to his disciples here. And he says, for if you forgive others their trespasses, which is their sins, their perceived slights, what you know, anything they owe you or whatnot, or you think they owe you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. So it's saying God looks upon you in favor for just taking the initiative and just forgiving in advance. But if you do not forgive the others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. And that's where it comes in. So we have to take the leap where we give up our pride, right? And it's not our job to judge the other person. It's not our job to try to hold slights against the other person. It's not our job to try to harm the other person. especially when it comes to our Christian brothers, right? When we see our Christian brothers, it's another thing where we are really supposed to do everything we can to work things out. And that's said several times. You go into Acts, a lot of stuff in Acts of the Apostles is where there's issues within the church, or in Paul's letters too, there's issues and divisions within the church. And Paul's just like, hey guys, reconcile these. Reconcile them in private, make it happen, try to fix things. It's on you. You have to take the initiative. It's never wait for the other person to take the initiative and hold bitterness towards them in the meantime, right? It's you take the initiative. That's our job as Christians. That's what sets us apart from the unbelievers, right? All right. And it says so, and this goes back to Psalm 2. So I'm going to read Psalm 133 in conjunction with this. How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity, right? In unity, right? It's like precious oil poured on the head, running down the beard, running down on Aaron's beard, down on the collar of his robe. It's as if the dew of Hermon were falling on Mount Zion. For there the Lord bestows his blessing even on life forevermore. So we're supposed to stand together in unity. And that means, in being in unity means we can't just hold on to these slights. We can't hold on to perceived anger or wrongs or anything like that. We can't hate each other. Or even just go around going, we dislike each other. That's what he said about me, unfortunately. But the same thing at the end of the day. That bitterness is the antithesis of what David is giving praise for and saying how we should act. It's the antithesis of what Christ says. So and Christ goes further in a parable in Matthew 18. We'll go to Matthew 18. And Peter just asked the Lord, right? He says, because Peter's asking this question too. He's like, what am I supposed to do in this forgiveness stuff? He goes, Lord, how often will my brother sin against me and I forgive him? As many as 7 times? And it's just like, Peter's just like, hey, this forgiveness thing seems really hard. It's like, it's about giving up my own pride. It's a very difficult thing to do. And Peter says, in 7 times is a lot. Somebody slights you 7 times. I mean, you're going to really dislike that person. And Jesus says, I don't say to you 7 times, but 77 times. So he says it, and these 7 numbers and 77 are just they're Hebrew cultural items which matter, but 77 times is just meant to be like, he's just saying, just keep doing it as many times as it happened, is what Jesus is trying to say. And that's how he goes. And he goes into a parable from that point. A king goes to a debtor, or let's look at Matthew 18. Hold on, let me just pull it out. Matthew 18. Oh, guys, I'm sorry about my deal here. All right, and there's a whole deal here, and where it goes. Let's see, 7. Okay. And okay, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants, right? As he began the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Now remember, he owes the king 10,000 bags of gold. The guy doesn't go to the king and say, here's your 10,000 bags of gold. I've fixed it. Now forgive me, right? He is not able to pay. So he's not going to come back and give the king his 10,000 bags of gold. And this is for us in life. If somebody is, does a slight to us or whatever, oftentimes the person can't come and say, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up or whatever. And it's not our job to demand that. It's not that's our bitterness and our pride speaking. And if the Lord God says, I'm king and somebody owes me this, and says, okay, you're forgiven. It's not, we really should not be pushing our judgments, our humanly judgments, and saying that's more important than these concepts. Since he was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had to be sold to repay the debt. So, he tells the servant to do stuff. Servant fell on his knees, but be patient with me, he begged. I will pay back everything. The servant's master took pity on him and canceled the debt and let him go. But that servant went out So even though he was patient with him, just as he asked, the servant went out and he found one of his fellow servants. And this is what we're talking about, right? When the servant went out, he found a fellow servant who owed him 100 silver coins. And this is it. So this is the first bit, was God to us and how he forgave our massive, massive debt. And then we go out and it says, and somebody owes us a little bit, just a little tiny bit. And he grabbed him and began to choke him. Pay back what you owe, he demanded. And this is what we do to people all the time, guys. I'm not free from guilt on this. I'm not saying that I'm good about this or anything like that. But this happens, right? So God forgives us of all of our horrible, horrible things, whatever we've done. You know, we jack off to porn. You know, we cheat on our significant others. You know, we hate someone, we fight someone, we've stolen stuff. We've done violence to someone, we've been rude to someone. I mean, all of our debts have been forgiven, right? And then we go out and someone said one nasty thing about us, right? And we go and we go and like we try to choke them over it, right? His fellow servant fell to his knees and begged him, "Be patient with me, I will pay it back." But he refused. And this is what we often do. We refuse. Instead, he went off and had that man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. And that's exactly what we're supposed to avoid here. So when we say that the other person is supposed to repent to us before we're supposed to forgive them, that this is not what Christ is saying at all. It's the exact opposite. The people often cannot pay us back, and we're not supposed to demand that. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were outraged and went and told their master everything that had happened. Then the master called in the servant and said, "You wicked servant, I canceled all your debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I have had on you?" In anger, his master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he should pay back all of his value. This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother and sister from your heart. Boom. Christ is extremely clear about this, that we need to forgive immediately. And I know it's so hard. And this is why I often take the tack that I do. People get really angry at me lately because I'm not willing to go attack Ethan Van Sciver or his friends or anything like that. And I'm trying to just be nice. And I know I've had problems in the past, and you know there's been issues there, but I'm not going to do that. And it's because it's not my job to hold anger in my heart. It's not my job to judge these people. That's all on God. And it's my job to show love and demonstrate mercy. And mercy is supersedes everything, because God's mercy supersedes everything for us. So that's the very, 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 very much important takeaway here. We're not supposed to be selfish about our perceived slights or anything like that. We're supposed to have mercy. Sorry, Baron, I'll look at your what you wrote now. One of the things I liked about RCIA was the discussion about forgiveness as something you can do without actively seeking a reconciliation. There are plenty of circumstances where the other party won't admit guilt and is offering forgiveness is accusing, and that isn't going to go well. If we're to be forgiven of our sins when we ask after having gone back to them for the nth time, like a dog to his vomit, can we expect not to forgive others even half as often? Yeah, exactly. And so it's on us to take the initiative. As Christians, we're supposed to take the initiative in forgiveness 100% of the time. And we're supposed to demonstrate mercy. We're supposed to be different. And, you know, sometimes it's going to come back to bite us. It really is. And that's okay. We shouldn't care about whether something bites us or whether something is meant to be good for us or whatnot, because there's a larger plan that's way more important than us. And that's what it comes down to. All right. So we can also go, so this is, Jesus's parable is very clear. We have to forgive our brothers in our hearts first. And that's it. 100%. Especially, I think this especially comes with our Christian brothers and sisters. We're supposed to be even further into mercy with them, because we're supposed to stand together in unity, and no matter what, unity is important. All right. James also says this too. So if we go to James 13, This is James, the brother of Jesus, writing in the Bible. For judgment is without mercy to for judgment is without mercy to one who has shown no mercy. Mercy triumphs over judgment. That means my mercy. Let's see. Okay, so that's the deal, right? So if we're merciful, that will be what's important on Judgment Day, right? We're supposed to always be merciful, and for judgment is without mercy to one who has shown no mercy, right? So God's judgment will be out without mercy for one who has shown no mercy, because God is so merciful to all of us that's like, dude, you really are gonna not act like I've done? I mean, for real? And that's what he's trying to tell us. And Christ says this too: "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." All right, that's a big deal. You can't genuinely receive God's forgiveness and remain unforgiving. It's just your whole deal. We should work on being forgiving first before anything else that we do. And I think that's it. Does that make sense? Did I explain that pretty well? Does God say dude? I don't know. In the new JDA version translation, I don't know. I don't know. Did I explain this pretty well? I don't know. I'm not like a theologian, so I just do the best I can. But I'm hoping that this message gets out there, because we all need to. This is something that really needs to take place in our community, all around with the comics. I mean, all around with just like the bitterness and angriness, like between each other. There's so much of this going on the internet between a lot of us. It's a super hard topic, and I'm not great at this. I'm a huge dick to people, and I get very fiery and passionate when I get slighted. I really do. You guys know this, of course, because I don't know. It's my Latin blood. It's just how it works. I see something. I see someone saying something nasty to me, and I just have a tendency to go ballistic. But we got to take a step back and just be like, oops, that's not a good thing, and try to reconcile things 100% of the time, especially with those who profess the name of Jesus Christ. And that's the most important thing we can do. So that's my message for today. I'm super sick, but I don't know. I should have probably just focused on the steampunk book. Yeah, I got things to say. So that's what we do here. So yeah, back to Clockwork Dancer. It's out today. Please leave reviews. I mean, this is a book you should be able to read in like 5-10 minutes. It's 22 pages of comic content. I put a little message at the back, and I then put a couple of those designs I was showing you on the last page also, just so you can kind of get some extras in the book. But it's a good thing. So it starts out, we meet our little clockwork automaton, and she is just a beautiful dancer. I don't know. I really want to highlight ballet dancing, because ballet dancing is a part of our culture, which a lot of people, I mean, especially, we got our high tea man zone, right? But ballet dancing is a very elegant part of our culture, and the dancing tells a story, unlike a lot of other different types of dance and things like that. And it's something that's kind of been lost for our attention in the last 20-30 years. And I like highlighting positive aspects of our culture, which developed over the last 1,000 years or whatever it was, and reminding people of our past and our traditions that are a good thing. And so I wanted to have a ballet dancer as our main deal in this, just as a upfront cultural gut punch to show people what is positive culture, and because that's what I'm trying to create is positive culture to combat the nihilistic stuff that's going on in our world with our corporate cultural world. So I want a ballet dancer who's inherently peaceful, who inherently is good, and you'll see why. Yeah, there's a reason she's inherently good, even though a lot of people think she's inherently bad. And that's how the world works. You know, when you do something good, the world is gonna hate you. And there's the message there too. I've got so many deep Christian themes in this book. Like I said, the writing on this is really some of my best work, and I hope a lot of people pick up on it and read it, because it's worthwhile. And starts out, I have a couple pages just kind of highlighting our automaton here, which Mary did a beautiful job designing. I mean, what a cool design. Twerking is Captain Cummings' favorite type of storytelling dance. Captain Cummings, that's not good. Oh man. Cummings, I'm gonna. Did I send Cummings a link? I forget. Let me see if I did. I did. Okay, you've got the link, dude. If you want to come in. Thanks, Violetta, for reading this. I appreciate it. Oh, you already read it straight away. You really enjoyed it. Look forward to the next one. Thanks. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Tom KP, yes, there will be physical copies. They should be up in the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm just waiting for Ingram Spark to load it through their whole system. I'm waiting on computers. It's not in my hands at the moment, but I'll let everybody know when it's up and available physically. Yeah. Ballet is up there with opera, something that's presented as high culture, but isn't engaged with often in the US. Yeah, I agree with that. And Kanye West actually has put out 2 operas recently. He put one of Mary, and then he did another one, which was, Nebuchadnezzar. And I didn't watch them. They were on some weird streaming service, and I didn't want to pay for yet another streaming service. But I really am interested in seeing those and seeing what he did with the opera medium, because he's really trying to do the same sort of thing and changing the culture, which I appreciate. So, but yeah, I want to have a ballet dancer. I want to have steampunk stuff. my other part of steampunk was my steampunk series. There were 2 reasons I wanted to do this like this, which this takes place in 1898 Scotland. My other steampunk series is a fantasy series, right? So I have straight fantasy for my steampunk, so I've already done that. So I wanted to do something with a historical setting, because a lot of steampunk is in these historical settings. So I wanted to do something different there. And then my other steampunk is really highly focused on the airship, and that's kind of like its main steampunk thing. And there's definitely an airship in this, because you got to have an airship in steampunk. But the focus isn't on on the airship. It's on the automaton and on the different gadgets and things like that. And that's what I wanted to do here. So I've got yeah, Scotland doesn't get enough love as a setting. Yeah, I went to Scotland. Gosh, I'm old now, so I guess it's 17 years ago, and I was 15, and I went with a golfing group. We went and hit all the classical golf courses up there. And because I was 15, like I don't know if they have these rules now, because, everything's changed the last 10, 15 years, but they didn't allow people under 18 on a lot of the courses. Like, you had to be 18 to go on the courses. Hey, Mary, can you come on the stream? I would love to, would love to have you on the stream if you can come on. I'm going to shoot you the link via email. This would be amazing to talk to you on the stream. Stream. Thanks for doing this art. It's beautiful. I love it. And you did a great job. All right. I shot you the link in email. If you are around and if you can get on here, that would be great. I will put you on. Yakov, Yakov's got a crowdfund also. It's got 2 days left, and it's really, really close to funding. Can somebody throw his link in the chat, please? I want to make sure everybody supports him too. So I think you're you're Mary MacArthur, right? I mean, I don't know for sure, or if you're just saying that you are an artist. who happens to be named Mary also. Okay, cool. That is you. Cool. All right, she's gonna try to get on the stream. That would be amazing. I'll keep the stream going as long as it takes for her to get going. I'm gonna have to find headphones though, so I'm gonna run around the house and see if I can find headphones. Otherwise, it'll echo. Cool. Yeah. So I'm migrating around my house right now. I don't have my camera on because I am sick as a dog right now, and I just don't want to. I don't look very good today. Just saying. Cool. All right, I found my AirPods. So we will put those on and get ready. See if we'll connect these. Oh shoot, my mic was muted. What the heck? I messed up. Have you guys not been able to hear me for like 10 minutes? Now my headphone, my mic was muted. What the heck? Whoa. I messed up. Have you guys not been able to hear me for like 10 minutes? Oh my gosh, I need to figure out my mic was muted. What the heck? Whoa. I messed up. All right. My AirPods cut out. That was weird. Let's see. All right. Okay, my AirPods are. Mary, are you there? I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. So that was weird. The AirPods totally cut out, and it muted my mic, and I didn't realize it muted my mic. Sorry, I've been having a great chat with you guys about like the background of this story, and I really went in depth into this story, and I don't know what I can do about it. Sorry. I was talking about individual issues and artists, and what happens a lot with collaborations is artists don't is what I found. And so I tried to design the like each issue really has its own story to it that builds to something different. That way, if an artist stops, we can kind of just like have an okay stopping point, and the issue stands on its own a little bit. And you'll notice that with Flying Sparks issue #1, I did that like just in case I couldn't get the artist to continue after issue #1. It would have been an okay stopping point. Or Meta Man Special, I did that also. It's an okay stopping point, right? And I wrote Clockwork Dancer #1 the same way, where there was actually the original ending I intended was just a single issue, and it was going to just stop just in case we lost things here. And I can hear myself on your thing now, Mary, like as background noise, but I can't hear you still. I don't know what the deal is. But then I changed it because Mary was pretty diligent. So I added a cliffhanger like on the last page, which you'll see when you read the book. And that's what I was talking about. And I had a problem where I wrote a full graphic novel, which was a 4-issue graphic novel. It's called Pistol Whipped. And I worked with an artist for a while, and he did the first issue. And the first issue is really not a complete story. It's very much a like, here's the beginning. And what happened was he bowed out, and I just have this full done issue. And I can't do much with it because it's like, you know, I don't want to change artists like after an issue and keep it going. I think it's really tacky when comic books end up that way. So that was that. Looks like Mary's audio doesn't work and her video now is off. So I don't know what to do there. She's in here. I can't hear anything trying to enable my mic, she says. So we'll see what happens. Technical difficulties. It was looking like it was okay. You can get in. You can get on your cell phone if you can hear me. StreamYard works on cell phone, and you just turn off your mic and hold it to your ear like it's a phone call, and it should work. So that's another option. Yeah, but it'd be fun to talk about this stuff. I'm so sorry about like having 5 minutes where I was like muted. That was a real bummer. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I hear you now. Yay. What's up, Mary? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm very excited.
Cool. Yeah, this is actually our first time talking. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm stoked. This turned out really good.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
It took a long time.
I know. So I just went back into things, and it's like we've actually been working on this since November 2017. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So tell everybody about you. Like, what's your history as an artist?
Well, I've been trying to do it seriously since I was about 13. and trying to do it professionally since I was graduated college. And I was just thinking about it was on Gab,
Right.
where I shared a link to a post, a pulp revolution for the comics crowd.
Yeah.
And it was a really good post on the Castalia House blog. And I just said, how can I be a part of this? And you replied to me, and it looks like it was life-changing.
Wow. Hashtag Pulperev. That's all it does, guys. Woo. All right. Yeah, so this works all the time. I think Paula Ritchie actually brought you to my attention and like told me to follow you or that you're looking for somebody, and I was like, oh, sweet. So I think it's actually her fault on my end.
Very good. And her comic is very good. It's called Soulbound.
Soulbound, yeah, I backed that one. I didn't have her on the stream. I don't know why. She didn't ask me. But yeah, she did a good job, and she's out there producing good comics now too. So Gab had like one useful thing to it. I don't think I got any other use out of that site.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was worth it.
So you wanted to do a comic book for a long time, it seems like. So you kind of just have done, various drawings for people here and there. And I noticed you do a lot of religious drawings for people.
Yes.
How'd you get into that?
Well, I was just being Catholic myself and homeschooled, with that always being a big part of it, and religious art being a big inspiration. And one of the more successful things I tried in all the years I was trying to be a professional artist and not getting very far was a coloring book of every single saint's day that's observed in the calendar, and selling it as a PDF, mostly to homeschooling moms. And that was pretty successful. And it recently, a publisher wanted to pick it up and commission more, and that's a recent release.
Yeah, you had a coloring book out, or I'm sorry, a children's book, or what was exactly? Let me try to find it. Day by Day Coloring Book of the Saints. I've got it right here. Okay.
Yep.
Let me pull this up and put it on the screen. Very cool. Here we go. And neat. So yeah, I everything you've been doing has been great. And I tried to get I think Anna Maria on here, but I don't know what happened there. Oh well.
Wow.
And you said you're working on another comic too, right?
Yeah. I'm working on with Jack Mickelson, also known as Laramie Hirsch. He wrote a novel called Bovodar and the Bears, which is already out. And then we're doing a comic adaptation of it. And it's a really fun adventure story about a young man who gets roped into going on an adventure with a bunch of bears. And it's
nice.
Really magical.
I think our people like bears here.
Yes.
So cool. Yeah, so this was a fun process, and Mary found out really quickly that I'm very relaxed about what I'm interested in as far as the comics go. It's just like, is this design cool? And I'm like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm used to clients who are like, oh, change that, so many times, and so it's nice to have freedom.
Yeah, I like to do that, and that's what I tend to try to do with artists. I think it's just a better way to work because, like you said, you get the freedom element out of it. You kind of get to do what you want, and I just figure what I figure is like you're better at design than I am, Like, I mean, I kind of have a vision for a story that I want, and how I want a story to go, obviously. But beyond that, it's like, you know, the visual representations are not my thing. Like, I'm not, you know, that's not my background, right? And so I don't know. My only like concern is like, I hope it doesn't make me appear like I'm not that excited about things, because that's not true. It's just like I just want to get the book out and get the story done, because that's the pulp way, is just getting it done. So, but I really love the design of the dancer. I just think she came out. She's got that like blend of like kind of creepy but cool, and like she's obviously got, you could see the innocence in her face, yet it's still like, because she's got like this flat, not exactly human features, it's still really creepy. And it just reminds me of these like the old EC kind of books in a way that like really beautiful design, and the gears right here with her neck, it's just cool stuff.
I have a very, very rudimentary understanding of Clockwork, so I tried to make it kind of make sense in the way of being able to move and stuff.
Like her knee joints like actually have like little gears to turn them and things like that. Yeah, pretty cool. Fun stuff. How long did it take you to come up with a design for something like this?
Well, I did this. You might remember I did this first drawing where I saw someone ask you on Twitter if this was at all influenced by Coppelia, and you said no, and the story isn't. It was just, I did this one sketch when I was just doing random steampunk things when we were first talking about a collaboration, where I did get the idea from this ballet, Coppelia, about
oh, sweet,
a Clockwork Girl, and then you just kind of used that as a jumping off point. And so I used a lot of things from that original sketch, but also thinking about functionality to tweak it.
Yeah, sweet.
And the large mainspring at her waist is significant.
Talk about that. What's that mean?
Well, we've been developing it relates to how you said earlier about her being inherently good, and there's a reason for that.
Oh yeah, I haven't spoiled that. That's right. Yeah, so that has to do with what I don't know. I focused a lot of the story of how she actually was given life, how she actually exists and has a soul, and things like that. So there is a lot. There's a pretty deep background to it. It's just so cool. I'm so excited. Very cool. Now, are any of your characters like designed after real people? Do you like look at people in your life and like, oh, this is my friend Ted, and I'm just gonna throw him in my comic book, or do you not do that?
I occasionally do that, but not most of the time.
I do that with a lot of my names. What I see is like, you know, I look on Facebook or on Twitter, and I'm like, I need a name real quick. There's a guy, George, he did a comic, Mary Sue. And so his name just popped up on, like as I was writing it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll throw him in there. I don't know where I got the name Alistair from. That was a weird one. But I think I was looking for Victorian style names. And this is one that like people were not like, don't use very often. So I thought it was pretty cool. And it's also a Scottish name. So since we took a place in Scotland, I wanted to highlight a little bit of Scottish culture also.
Yeah, but he is a Campbell, which is.
Well, yeah, he travels. But he travels the whole empire. So he's not from Scotland. He's a mix, right? So,
okay.
Yeah.
MacArthur's do not like Campbells.
I'm sorry. I could always change it because that's how they're put on demand, and I could edit it.
It's okay.
Okay. Sweet. So I was about to show sort of the layout process, because you've just been doing the layouts for issue 2, And let me figure out how to get this up here. Back. And you do these really rough layouts real quick to get to this point. You see the big difference between the layouts and the major. I love showing process. I hope that's okay. And what goes on. And we have an immediate, we jump into some pretty interesting stuff at the beginning of issue 2, which I'm very excited about. The story really expands. So I always try to do things in my world building that in the beginning, like and you can see this in any of my books. The first couple issues of the first book of one of my series, I try to keep the world building in a contained way. And then I open it up, and like you start to see like the big macro picture in the next one or the one after that. And I think issue 2 we get a much bigger macro picture where it goes. And unfortunately, you have to draw like automaton crowds. It's got to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that is like I'll switch between working on that other comic I mentioned. Ovid and the bears in this, and I'll be like, I keep forgetting that bears and trees are much quicker to draw than robots.
Yeah, and crowds are the worst because like each figure just takes so long, but that's okay. It'll be worth it. We'll have a good payoff for everybody who reads.
And issue 2 already has some opportunities to do some more interesting architecture and landscapes, which I really enjoy.
Good. Yeah, I moved the setting around a lot in issue 2. So we go to, I think it's the Isle of Man. Is that right? And I use that because I use that just because of the name Man and the theme of what is man and what is like what it's a word that integrates with the theme was the point of that. And then we go to Italy in this one. And yeah, so we've got a lot of cool settings, which is what I think that's the joy of steampunk is you get to highlight all these cool settings. Yeah,
and I really enjoy comics that develop the settings instead of just really generic ones.
Me too. Cool. And so you've gone full time as an artist as of I think it was July, right?
It was last November.
Last November?
Yeah.
And how's that going? Is it good?
I've been very, very busy.
Good.
There's a bit of money-wise, I think there's a bit of an initial...
A hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I'm hoping now things have been releasing one after another, and so I think it will start to pick up.
Yeah, your name will get out there, and it's all about like just a lot of content under your name is what we found out. I don't know if you watch a lot of my talks about 20 books to 50K, but they really inspired me because like their whole deal is like if we can get 20 books out, we can make 50K, and that sounds great. So the object is just get as many books out as fast as possible, and I love that comics offers you the ability to re-release stuff. So we're going to be able to like put out these 4 issues, and then we'll be able to put out a collected edition of it. That'll it just makes different forms of revenue, which are very handy. And the mainstream industry is very good about exploiting this. A lot of indies just aren't, though. It just seems like there's no game plan on that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I've seen so many interesting independent comics come out in the recent few months or a year or two, but then a lot of them, it's like if you didn't get in on the crowdfund, you can't get them.
Right. And I know, I get it. I mean, some people are trying to create like this like false collector's market, but I just don't. I don't know. I want people to be able to read the story. I mean, that's the whole deal. So getting it out there for people to read always is the absolute goal.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, we're having fun today, and Clockwork Dancer's out. I would love to be able to get this way up the ranks on Amazon and just and be able to start bragging about that, guys. So if you guys can help us push this up there, and this is going to be the goal for 2020, is to be able to dominate the Amazon market. Amazon really is a spot where, again, indies just like for some reason are not releasing that many books on Amazon, and I don't understand why. And for books, I mean, that's the only spot you can release pretty much and make money. So it's like, you know, this is a market that, like, I want to be the guy that's pioneering it and in there. And, like, you know, when comics finally get taken over by Amazon, which it will, because Amazon takes over everything, that these books will be seen, you know, everywhere. So this is a way to make that happen and really actually change the way that the industry works by supporting books like this. Cool. Does anybody have questions for Mary? Because this is a unique situation where I don't think I've ever had one of my actual artists on the stream, because Jethro doesn't speak English all that well for Flying Sparks, and I guess Mike Abuon, who did Metaband Special, I don't know where he's at, so I haven't talked to him in a long time. So this is a special occasion, guys. Give Mary questions, make her uncomfortable. I don't know. So have you been a Catholic all your life?
Yes.
Cool. And are you satisfied with the amount of did I put enough Christian themes into this to make it worthwhile on that level too, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the way when we were talking in the emails about the idea that comes up later, it was really striking how it's like, oh, that is, without spoiling it, that is life, and that is the image of God.
Yeah, I'm so proud of this, guys. Like I said, this is some of the better writing I've ended up doing, and it totally ended up by accident, really, just because of discussions with Mary via email. So you know, I don't know. I don't know that I planned for it to go this deep, but it ended up that way.
Yeah, and I really like when that happens.
Me too. Cool. So yeah, this is gonna be a 4-issue series, and thank you so much for committing to 4 full issues of a comic. That is, like, I know it's so much freaking work on the art side, and it's gonna end up 88 pages on your end, which is pretty daunting.
Yeah.
But you know, having that full graphic novel is a good thing for the book, for sales, for everybody, and that's just how the market goes these days. And I know you originally just committed to 1 issue. You were like, let's do an issue. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, please do a full graphic novel. But I think, I think long term it'll make more money that way. Any links to her Saints Day calendar? Let me grab that for you. Okay. What did I do with it? I thought I put it. No, I didn't. Okay. Saints Day calendar. Here we go. Get you some sales of your other stuff too.
Thank you.
Cool.
And issue 2 is really, I think it's really, really solid. The action scenes and the way they cut back and forth is really, really exciting.
Yeah, the action is just gonna snowball is how it's gonna go. So it's gonna get really crazy as it goes along, and yeah, it's only gonna get harder for you, unfortunately. But
I'm getting a lot better. I mean, I hope this is the thing about drawing comics, is that you look at the very beginning and you look at the end, you can usually tell an artist has improved, and sometimes it can be a little jarring. So I hope it gets better while still looking unified.
I think this ended up looking very unified. A good of course, help for that is the fact that the colorist, is he's a professional who's got the same. He's about got the same look across the pages, so it helps kind of blend. As you're gaining experience, he's got the same This is an image I've shown a lot from the book. This is one of my favorite images, right here.
Yeah.
And that ends up like making it blend your sort of progress. Where I hope it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's even noticeable. I think it all just looks very solid all the way through. But I really like what the colorist did. What I had him do. So you can see how it's kind of grainy, guys. This is not just like that his work's grainy and came out like that. I had him make it grainy because he worked on my other book, The Ember War. If you guys back that, I'll show you what his work looks like ungrainy. And where's an ungrainy page of The Ember War? See, a professional YouTuber would have all these ready to go. So you see the graininess right here, but his normal colors are like right here with The Ember War. So there's no graininess right there because it's a sci-fi book, and I just wanted I wanted this to be very clean and futuristic looking, but I actually requested the graininess because I wanted to give a feel that this is something a little older, which even though with digital colors it's really hard to do that, but the graininess helps to just age it a little bit. I feel like,
and also the warmth in the colors.
True. Yeah, the warm colors is good because it's a great contrast against having a cold robot, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know. No questions, it looks like, for you so far. Which except for people want to buy your stuff. And I put that I think you do commissions. You do random commissions for people, I assume?
Occasionally.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm not currently available for freelance work, she says.
Yeah. Too busy. But I have difficulty saying no.
That's always a struggle. I get asked to write a lot of short stories for people, and it's like, at first I'm always like, yeah, no problem. And then it's always like, ooh, I guess I'm not going to have time to do that.
Well, if there are no questions,
yeah,
and we're not running out of time or anything, I would like to talk a little about the process because
please.
I think it's different than a lot of people because I'm very much traditional medium. I know very little about digital art, and everybody these days is doing digital art. So, like the layouts you showed earlier, it's on a little book, and it's very handy that I see the two pages facing each other like they would be in the actual printed
cool
book. Yeah. And to take into and not do each page in isolation, but the two pages who will be next to each other composed together is very
it's very different. I don't think a lot of people do that. I think they just lay them out on like standard artboard stuff when they're more, not a digital art sort of deal, right?
Right. And it's pretty difficult. The other comic I'm doing with the bears, I wanted to do the color. Bovidar and the Bears, written by Jack Nicholson. I'm doing a comic adaptation of it with him. And with that, I wanted to do the coloring myself. And it's difficult because digital is what is expected and it's more streamlined and stuff.
Are you doing non-digital colors, like actual colored pencils or watercolors or something?
Yeah, I figured out a way to keep, and difficulty with doing traditional colors is that the blacks, you want them pure black so that they'll reproduce well. And so I figured out a way to do the line art in ink, scan it as black and white, strictly not grayscale, and then do the colors on a different sheet of paper in paint, with real paint, not Microsoft Paint, and then scan that in and combine them digitally, and I think it looks really, really good.
Do you have a sample you can show or no?
Well, how do I How do I show anything?
There's a button on StreamYard. It says like it's at the bottom, and it says share screen. So if you have one on your like Illustrator or what, I don't know what program you use, but if you have one on Photoshop or whatever, you can pull up and share your Photoshop window. Be cool. Oh, sweet, Yakov! This has great news. His Kickstarter just funded. We just got it done. I'm gonna totally take credit for this over the stream for the last couple days because I've been mentioning it a lot. This is so exciting. Let me pull it up. Oh man, cool. We were at $375 yesterday to get this done, and I wanted to make sure to talk about that. And I had to cut the stream a little short yesterday. Sorry about that, guys. But let me see. Let's pull this up. And we just got funded. Ma'am, this is, I love it. We have a real community here that is just so supportive. I love it so much. Boom. Got us 1,500 bucks.
Oh.
Yakov was good to go. Congratulations, my dude. So excited for you.
Hello, am I back?
Hi. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
You accidentally kicked yourself?
Connection problem.
I have a vision that you live like out in the boondocks, like where there's like no technology around and things like that. Is that an accurate assessment of your life?
Yes, it is. I actually live in a literal log cabin.
A literal log cabin?
Yes.
Do you have like insulation in your literal log cabin?
Well, logs are excellent insulation.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's right. Wood's pretty thick. Do you have central heating, or do you have like one of those like wood stove things?
Both.
Both?
Okay, so I'll try to show some of the art from the Bovidar and the Bears.
All right. So you got to hit share screen. Oh, Yakov, I did not, oh, this was not the link. Whoops. All right. Yeah, sorry. I tried to put up a link for people to come in from the Pulp Rev chat. And I accidentally put my Amazon link instead, so I spammed everybody in there. Sorry about that.
Okay.
All right. Oh, Mary's screen. Here we go. It is a big black blob.
Oh. Okay, I'm not sure what I should do.
Can you do like share? So what I do is I hit you go to I go to share screen, and then I go to application window, which is the middle one, and I pull up a specific application, and that's how I show like just this. For example. Or I show in stock trades my cart, which I am not actually buying Venomnibus here, but I was just seeing how much the cost was. So I'm actually on in stock trade. This is where I get all my like epic collections and things like that. We got Hulk by Peter David today. Ooh, I am going to buy this. 50% off. This is some of the better Hulk stuff. So I'm going to probably get Peter David, and I'm going to unfortunately, I'm going to get the Maximum Carnage Epic Collection because, and I'm saying unfortunately, because I already have collected edition of Maximum Carnage, and it upsets me. But I got to get those Epic collections because that's what I do. It's really irritating. They put like two extra issues in it to make it slightly different from the one I've got. Painful.
Hey, I
Didn't know they've got. Oh, here we go. Here's your screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoops. Oh.
There it was.
Oh, I see it on the preview, but it shows up black on my. Why is it not working? That's bizarre. I can see it, but I can't actually show it for some reason. That's really strange. Huh. Oh well.
Oh.
I can see it. It looks cool. Very nice coloring. Wow. I don't know that, like, I can only see it in a little thumbnail, but from the thumbnail, I can't tell that it's not digital. So pretty neat.
Well, if you give the link to my blog earlier, there are samples there that people could see if they want to.
Oh, cool. Oh, let me find that. I've got so many windows open now. I'm like, bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Let's get to your blog. So you had a sample on your blog?
Yeah, people can actually read the first 7 pages of the Bobadar and the Bears comic there if they just go back up.
Where is it?
Under stories would lead to it.
Stories. All right. Oh, I found that actual like image that you just posted too. So let me pull that up. Very cool. Wow, you did an excellent job of coloring. Multi-talented artist here. I think she's lost her connection again, but I will show this page. Pretty sweet. Yeah. Gosh, I should have had Mary just color Clockwork Dancer. Then I would have like saved $20 a page. Jeez, look at that. Yeah, she did a great job. That looks really good. You notice that she's like, she mentioned she's really into like landscape details and things like that. You could tell just like with the detail of the treehouse right here, that like she just really loves drawing that sort of thing. Very cool. All right. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream there. If you haven't picked up Clockwork Dancer, I don't know if she's coming back or not. It's all right at this point. You should pick up Clockwork Dancer, and I've got the link in the description. I'm also gonna throw it in the chat real quick just to make it easy for you. We definitely want to get this going. Please talk about it. Please review it on Amazon. If you have a YouTube channel, please review it on YouTube. If you talk about it on social media, I mean, I want people to just like start talking about this stuff. It makes it really hard as an indie to just, you know, get this stuff out there when you know, there's no media, there's no like mainstream media that's going to cover any of this stuff at all. And so I don't even think Bleeding Fool, Bleeding Fool is a site that used to cover my stuff, but I don't think they'll cover me anymore just because they've got this like, you know, teen drama BS going on these days. So I don't expect any media coverage whatsoever. So it's all on you. It's all on word of mouth on how great this story is. And I appreciate, there you are, you're back. All right, we lost you for a sec. But yeah, we rely on your word of mouth on getting this going, and we very much appreciate your support. And yeah, this is as much to support Mary as it is me. So if you hate me, just remember Mary's a super nice, cool person who's way cooler than me, and you can support her. So I think she can't hear me again now on this new connection.
Hi.
There you are. Are you there? Nope. Oh well. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into this stream. I hope it was fun and useful despite technical difficulties and despite the 5 minutes where I had myself on mute and you were just sitting here. So yeah, we had a good time, and pick up Clockwork Dancer, hit the like, hit the share, you know, Post the link to everybody you know. Anybody who likes steampunk, let them know that this is out and that this is cool. And I think that's everything. And forgive everybody. Forgive everybody before. Forgive everybody before they come to you. You do not need somebody's repentance in order for you to forgive them. That is not what God demands of you or us. I'm going to try to get better about that too, guys. Of course, I can get bitter as well. I'm human and I fail. But that is going to be the takeaway of today also. God bless everybody, and we will see you soon. Congratulations again to Yakov and Galaxy Ascendant 6 Kickstarter. And that's it for today. Have a great day.